Greetings everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your host Captain Rye, and today's YouTube video has got my review of the HMS Hood. Yes, that beautiful British lady finally in the game and technically representing the first British battleship here in World of Warships. Now, technically, the Hood is classified as a battle cruiser, and that's due to her lack of armor and high speed. But you know, people were making a big deal of this, but there are other battle cruisers, through classification, in the game, though they were up-armored later, and yes, I'm talking about the Congo class. As battle gets underway here, it's neighbors, it's domination match mode, but first a quick look at my captain skills that I'm currently using, and the modules on the ship that I have. Not a lot of modules to select for this particular ship because it is tier 7. Battle getting underway, I have decided that I am heading to the A cap point. And unlike other battleships in this particular game, in this particular match mode, the Hood is an excellent battleship to do just this, to go wide, to flank out there, and take those far-flung cap locations with your cruisers, because she's a fast battleship, a really fast battleship. In fact, with the speed flag, the Sierra Mike flag, on this ship, she'll get 33.7 knots in a straight line. And she can get up to that speed pretty quickly, which makes her very difficult to hit if she's running in a straight line, because a lot of players really haven't had a lot of time to figure out how to adjust for the speed of this ship. But that's about the only redeeming quality that the Hood has, at least for most of the matches that you'll play. At tier 7, she has pretty decent anti-aircraft, especially if you put your captain's skills into things like I have, which is advanced firing training and basics of firing training if you want that skill, as well as putting the flags onto the ship to improve the DPS of those guns. It comes with the anti-aircraft consumable, and it's really only good at very close ranges. While you're not going to be able to kill all the planes before they drop their load, you will be able to prevent them from getting back to the carrier and causing him a bad day if he's not a tier 9 carrier. Now, this poor Miyoko up here, and actually that's an ARP ship. Again, replay bug, ARP's not showing up. This poor ship up here, he's taken so much hits. I've already hit him once, and managed to citadel him for a first blood. Now, remember that, though. Off to a crackin' start. The guns, well, we have a wonderful example of it here, are not very good. The gun handling on this ship is absolutely terrible. She's basically got Scharnhorst guns and Scharnhorst penetration values, but with 15-inch guns instead of the Scharnhorst's 11. So, where the Scharnhorst can make up for it by being able to more reliably citadel a cruiser with its smaller caliber guns, the Hood doesn't get that opportunity. Equally important, the Scharnhorst makes up for its poor gun handling by being able to reload and put shots out every 20 seconds. In the Hood, you gotta wait 30. Well, the turret rotation on this ship is fantastic. With captain skill, it's 31 seconds for a 180-degree turret traverse. Again, that means you can really play this ship like a cruiser, with the speed, with the turret rotation, and even though she's a long ship and has a very large turning circle, she's actually really nimble, and I think that's another thing that throws a lot of people off, just how quickly she seems to be able to turn. Yeah, she takes a long distance to do it, but she's a long ship anyway. But the guns are such a letdown. As I've told other people that I've played with this ship, there's so much RNG that goes into every time you pull the trigger. It's not a ship that I can reliably say, when I have to, when I absolutely need to, Citadel an enemy cruiser or Citadel an enemy battleship, that I can do that, that I can pull that off and know that I'm going to aim there and secure that Citadel and secure that kill and win the game, or keep myself alive long enough to repair and win the game. It's just not something that reliably happens, and we're going to see examples in this battle of just how poor the gun handling characteristics are on this ship. Enemy Texas up here is trying desperately to turn away as he's found himself pretty much alone on this side of the map, while the rest of his team manages to secure the C and B cap points. This is another problem with this ship. Because her secondary batteries are not the best in the world, she's only got 7 of them, and they're mostly on the back of the ship, which means, at best, if you're running away from an enemy, you're going to be able to get 3 of those secondary batteries to open up on them at a time. That's really kind of a disappointment, and it means that you really have to be careful about destroyers getting too close to you. Very low health cruiser there, take a shot out. Can I secure the kill? Do manage to steal it from the friendly cruiser. Well, I did hit him earlier, he was pretty low health anyway, but I do feel that was a little bit of a kill steal. But yes, this ship relies heavily on having cruisers and destroyers to support it. It needs to have those cruisers up front with you to deal with destroyers that pop up. You need to have those destroyers up front to spot those enemy destroyers, those little buggers, before they can get close enough to launch torpedoes. And while you can handle the torpedoes pretty well, you're a long ship. Getting hit by a whole spread, definitely going to hurt. Enemy Fuso, broadside, out in the open, within my gun range. Look at the shell arcs on those guns. I didn't do a lot of damage. They came in straight from above, and I didn't Citadel them. I got penetration damage, but no Citadels. And this is a reoccurring issue that I've had with this ship. I cannot Citadel a battleship at any range. In fact, in some instances, I've had these shells shatter. Again, it's the Scharnhorst's 11-inch guns, but these are supposed to be 15-inch guns. Seriously, what the fuck? It's so heart-wrenching to have these guns to think, oh, I'm in a battleship with battleship caliber guns, the same as the Warspite, 15 inches, the same as the Bismarck, 15 inches, and the shell dispersion and the shell penetration values just aren't there. They just don't exist. Again, it's like playing the Scharnhorst. I'm trying to slowly peck enemy battleships to death because I can't Citadel them. I can pretty easily Citadel cruisers, provided they're not broadside onto me. If the cruisers are broadside on, for whatever reason, the shells will overpenetrate or fail to Citadel. If they're bow on, they'll penetrate but fail to Citadel. They have to be at an awkward angle in order to reliably Citadel. At least that's what I'm finding more often than not. Going back to the team situation, you'll notice that in this battle, my entire team went to the A cap point with me, even though in chat I repeatedly called out to them that they needed to turn towards the B cap point and help me push it. Nope, they're all still sitting back there at the B cap point, and at this point the only thing that's going to save my ass from this onslaught of enemy ships is the fact that there is now a cyclone in effect, and the visibility is dropping off. And now I'm not detected by anything, and I can basically just sit in this cap and finally capture it unmolested. But there again was a prime example of the guns just failing, those shells failing to do much damage. Broadside Fuso at 9 kilometers, and I couldn't Citadel him. I got penetration damage, Absolutely, but it's not a citadel. And so that battleship can repair a good chunk of that damage that I've just done. And the Cyclone, in this particular instance, working both ways. I can't shoot at him because I can't see him. My team does finally decide to leave the A cap point and push up to be with me, although I've certainly done the lion's share of work in this battle so far, pushing up these cap points. And I've done a good amount of damage in the process. But again, it's like playing with the Scharnhorst. Almost all of the damage that I've done has been over penetrations and penetrations. No big citadel hits. I think the highest damage I've ever achieved in this ship, in the 20 plus battles that I've played with it, is something akin to about 120,000. Compare that to my Scharnhorst, where I've done over 220,000. In a similar battle situation as a top tier battleship. So that should give you an idea of why I really don't recommend this ship. Enemy ships up here are playing peekaboo with the islands, and it's annoying me because the shells, while they do have kind of rainbow-esque arcs, as you've seen with some of these shots, can't quite crest the sides of those islands to ensure that I can get kills. The other problem that I have with this ship is that she seems to be able to get citadeled from pretty much any distance away. At no point have I ever been in a situation where closing in with this ship has hidden my citadel from the enemy. At point blank range, they will hit me and cause a lot of damage. I kind of look at the way that the ship sits in the water as it is now, and feel that the ship is a little bit high in the water. Not by much, but just that much. I take a big citadel hit from that enemy Texas up there, and, you know, I was broadside onto him, but I was kind of trying to turn away. I found that armor angling at any angle that's not bow on will result in you taking big, massive hits, and citadel hits. So turning and running away from your enemy isn't going to work as effectively as it would in, say, the Scharnhorst or the New Mexico or the Colorado. The Texas does get taken out there. We take out the enemy Scharnhorst, and we manage to secure the B cap point. So now my team is finally in the ship's lead, and we're finally up on points. Enemy French cruiser pushing up into that cap. I get the first two sets of shots away, fire off one from the rear, finish him off for my 4th kill in this game. And a lot of the kills that I'm doing are not devastating strikes. While I'm doing a lot of damage to some of these ships, certainly causing a good number of regular penetration hits, I'm not able to secure the kill outright in a devastating strike. I think I've only had that happen twice, and it's been against cruisers, definitely not battleships. Speaking of battleships, there are 2 enemy battleships left in this game now, and there's 1 enemy cruiser. The cruiser is in Atlanta, and he's perfectly visible thanks to the spotting by my team sitting behind this island. And while I'm not detected, and thanks to the Cyclone I won't be anyway, it's a bit of a problem for me because he could use his radar and spot me coming up around this island. But he drops off detectability because the cruiser who was spotting him sailed too far away, and he's no longer being detected. Either that, or he managed to kill the cruiser who was detecting him. He manages to get away from the island quite a bit. He's broadside on. I get shots out there, but I'm not really expecting to do a lot of damage because of my luck with the guns, and I managed to citadel him. Broadside on. Okay, Kraken unleashed. Get my rear guns around, finish off the Fuso for a double strike. Now that's 6 kills with a double strike. And there's 1 enemy ship left in the game, and he's not very high health. The Tier 6 New Mexico, and he's broadside onto me. Look at that, broadside on, forward shots out there. All I gotta do is penetrate him, and wait, hang on a second. 4 shots, 1 missed, 3 shatters on a broadside New Mexico against 15-inch guns. You have to be shitting me? So I can Citadel the cruiser when he's got no health left, or when he's broadside on occasionally. Again, this goes into the RNGesus. The New Mexico going for the ram. I get my rear guns out there, get the forward guns off, but I managed to kill him off with 1 penetration, which was all that I needed to begin with. 95,000 damage done in the battle, which generally seems to be about the max end that I can manage in this particular ship. Only a couple of citadels. Double strike, First Blood, Kraken Unleashed, and Dreadnought in that game. A good number of credits, though. Definitely up there near the Scharnhorst with that credit earning potential. Overall, though, I can't recommend this ship. Not as she currently is. Not for the amount of money they want in the current package. When she's no longer on sale, when she's not in that super expensive packaged bundle deal, and she's just by herself, maybe available for credits, or not credits, gold, in your tech tree, in your port, maybe consider picking her up then and giving her a play. But the skill cap is so incredibly high because you have to deal with that length of the ship. You have to deal with that very long citadel that seems to be a little bit high in the water, higher than it should be, and tends to get hit constantly. And dealing with the pure RNGesus that's associated with the penetration on those guns. That question every time you pull the trigger. Am I going to get a Citadel? Am I going to get a penetration? Am I going to get a shatter? Or is it just going to miss altogether? Anyway, that's it for today's video. That's it for my short review on the HMS Hood here in World of Warships. If you liked the video, hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. If you'd like to get semi-regular channel news and updates, you can do so by liking and following me on Facebook. If you'd like to help support me in the channel, you can become my supporter on Patreon. Any support level as low as $1 a month will grant you access to some of my World of Warships replays and screenshots, some of which make it to YouTube and some of which don't quite make the cut, but are still pretty good. If you've got a World of Warships replay that you'd like to see featured on my channel, you can send it to my email. And if you'd like to watch me play World of Warships live on Sundays at 10 a.m., you can follow me on Twitch. You can find the links for all of those in the video description down below. And as always, I'll see you next time. This is Captain Rye, signing off.